Welcome to Troublemakers Daily, your daily missive of fierce compassion and bold clarity. I'm Danielle, a founding member of the Troublemakers community. Today, let's talk about the transformative power of looking your pain straight in the eye. Bernie Mac, that raw and brilliant voice of truth, once said, "Comedy comes from pain, but if you don't deal with the pain, you can't get to the jokes." Sit with that wisdom for a moment. Comedy, that life-giving force, that breath of oxygen in suffocating spaces, that medicine for the soul, doesn't emerge despite our suffering. It emerges because of it, but not automatically, not without the courage to face what hurts. Bernie Mac knew this intimately. Growing up on Chicago's South Side, losing his mother at 16, navigating poverty and systemic racism, he didn't deny the realities or pretend they didn't shape him. Instead, he alchemized them. He looked at his pain directly, worked through it, metabolized it, and then transformed it into something that could both tell the truth and bring release. This isn't just about comedy. It's about the fundamental human capacity to transform what wounds us into what awakens us, to convert what could break us into what ultimately makes us more whole, more honest, more alive. But notice the essential second part of Bernie's wisdom. If you don't deal with the pain, you can't get to the jokes. There's no shortcut. There's no way around the reckoning. The transformation doesn't happen through avoidance or spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. It happens through engagement, through the willingness to acknowledge what hurts, to process it, to integrate it rather than segment it off. Think about the last time you laughed so hard it felt like a release valve opening in your soul. Chances are that laughter touched something true about the human condition, something that might otherwise make you weep. The best comedy, like the best art, the best therapy, the best activism, doesn't pretend the darkness doesn't exist. It walks straight into that darkness and somehow, miraculously, finds the light switch. So what does this mean to deal with the pain in a way that liberates rather than consumes us? It starts with naming it honestly, with refusing to minimize it or rationalize it away, with acknowledging this happened, this hurt, this shaped me. It continues with turning toward that pain with curiosity rather than judgment. Not asking, am I still affected by this? But instead, what does this reaction have to teach me? What truth is speaking that I need to hear? Today, I invite you to consider one source of pain in your life that you've been avoiding or compartmentalizing. One wound that you've been too afraid or too busy or too numb to really face. What might become possible if you turn toward it, not to dwell in it, but to process it? What could be liberated if you finally dealt with it, if you gave it the dignity of your attention, if you allowed it to be metamorphosized rather than buried? Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate suffering. It's to transform it into something that serves life rather than diminishes it, into wisdom, into compassion, into art, into connection, and yes, sometimes into laughter that releases what no amount of fears could wash away. As Bernie Mac showed us through his life and his work, there is immense power in looking unflinchingly at what has wounded you and saying, This will not be wasted. This will be transformed. This will become something that helps others breathe easier, stand taller, and feel less alone. Take this with you into your day. Your work matters. You matter. And your willingness to face your pain rather than run from it, that's where your most profound gifts to the world are waiting to be born. This is Troublemakers Daily, brought to you by troublemakers.art. Until next time, keep making good trouble.